Hey, Raghav, hi, welcome. Welcome to our first series of Prax Convos. It's always sort of fantastic talking to you and always great to see the kind of growth story that you and your venture have been creating. What's happening behind the scenes, if you look at essential commodities, especially something, similar to your business, are you guys, continuing to operate? What's the future looking for you guys? Let's look at some other FMCG or some sort of fresh food and beverages businesses delivery. What's happening behind the scenes?
So for us, Arman, we immediately after the lockdown started, we were classified as essential services for delivery and takeaway. So that's something that we started, immediately as the lockdown began. We were one of the first businesses to actually start off with delivery. A lot of bigger brands actually took their own time to get started, and we faced those initial issues of licensing on ground, the kind of police issues and all that that was happening at the start. But I think just being able to stay in touch with our customer base and being able to maintain that continuity of business was extremely important for us. From a business perspective, obviously the revenues are down. We had a majority of our business coming in from our dine-in business, which is cafes which are no longer permitted right now. But delivery has shown decent signs. There are pockets where it is doing well also. Mumbai and Bangalore are doing reasonably well, and we've seen a good traction for a lot of commodity kind of products, packaged products. So our packaged teas are doing very well. We are seeing great demand for our packaged snacks. We were earlier not very big on e-commerce. We started listing, so we're on Big Basket now. We're on Flipkart now. So this has been a good way for us to get into those kind of adjacencies of business, which is something that we know is going to become bigger as we go along. So I think fundamentally from our business perspective, it has been a time where we've got a lot of we've had to adapt very quickly to a lot of things which were a lot of gray, and I think everybody's had to do that. For a lot of the FMCGs, it has also been a big boom kind of a thing, and hearing webinars from people at Big Basket and people at Licious and all, they've been doing really well. So for them also, it's been a different kind of challenge that you don't have access to the same kind of manpower. You're operating at 50% of resources, and your business has scaled 3x, 5x, 6x, right? So I think it has just been a time where everybody's had to adapt to a very, very quickly changing kind of situation, and try to understand how to make the most of it.
So you guys must be present in, let's say, 5 to 7 states pan India, right? I mean, approximately that much. How have different states reacted to this? Are they, in terms of consistency of application of the policies, in clarity, in sort of them allowing people deliver, etc. What across states?
I think the situation has been pretty much the same across all the states. It was just that initial period after lockdown where it took about 4 or 5 days for the situation to stabilize. Post that, I don't think there's been a state specific kind of problem. So we are present in Delhi NCR, we are present in Chandigarh, Bombay and Bangalore. So across these cities, we've not really faced any kind of issues from a licensing perspective, from an approvals perspective, and things have been smooth. It was the first 4 or 5 days which were difficult, but then after that we've been able to manage it pretty well.
Tell me one thing, a little bit about the consumers. Do you expect? Of course, like you said, majority of your business comes from dine-in, right? And your product is also not primarily food, but more around social engagement, right? Where people come and discuss whether it's work or whether it's friends.
Yeah.
What are some of the near-term and the long-term behavioral changes, that you guys expect from the consumer side? Will your proposition still continue to remain as attractive? What's your view on that?
I think there are two aspects to this. One is, how does my personal life outside of work change? And the second aspect of it is, how does my life at work change? So if I talk about the work part initially, we get a lot of our delivery orders from offices. We get a lot of our we have about 30% of our network is based in business parks, where chai was like a daily kind of necessity which we were serving there, right? So the behavior there is definitely going to change, because there is going to be a lot more work from home. A lot of organizations are now looking at changes in construct, like like slightly more variable models, work from home, having only 50% occupancy at any point in time. When TCS has gone to the extent of saying that they'll have 25% of their workforce at any point of time in the next 5 years. And that is going to be a fundamental shift, which is going to affect how the consumption happens at work. And the second part is outside of work. Obviously, this behavior, I think, is here to stay till the time that we have some kind of clarity on a vaccine or some kind of a cure. Once that happens, I don't think fundamentally people are going to behave differently. I mean, once the fear goes away, once there is a cure or once there is a vaccine, people will want to obviously come out. So it is here to, that behavior is here to stay for the next 3 months to 6 months to come, post the lockdown. And then I think we should be back to normal, and we should be getting back to whatever kind of normalcy there was. People will go to malls. People will travel business. Maybe at work, people might think that you might realize that actually that level of travel is not required, or you don't mandatorily need to sit in an office all day. You can actually work part time from home as well for maybe some part of your day, and you don't have to come every day. So maybe I expect the working model will change more than what the going out model would change.
So you guys, so again, large part being dine-in, footfalls are very important to drive, let's say, store economics, whether it's beverages or it's Starbucks or anything, right?
Yeah.
So, and the footfall, obviously, because of the density that the government will allow at different, I think that will also take much more longer to come back to previous levels. So what are some of the levers that companies like you should be employing to bring back the economics, back to a profitable level at a store level?
Yeah.
Footfall. There is increased delivery, there is renegotiation of rent.
Yeah.
There is also, so what are some of the levers that you recommend to companies like you to sort of bring back economics?
Yeah, I think completely. So you've already listed two of those big levers. Either everybody now is looking at how is that post lockdown consumer behavior going to change, and how do I adapt quickly? How do I create things so that I can actually work better in that kind of new environment? So to answer your question, would people want to spend excessive amount of time in cafes? Maybe not. But would they want to stay indoors the entire time? Possibly not as well, right? So there will have to be that middle path somewhere. So something that we are working on is to have a very superior hygienic contactless kind of experience, that you can place your order from your app itself. We're actually working on some technology to be able to very seamlessly place an order and pick it up without actually having to interact with anybody at all. So that helps you to kind of at least say that if someone doesn't want to spend 30 minutes in your cafe, or someone doesn't want to stand in a queue, at least you're able to very seamlessly be able to get them to order and just pick up their chai, consume it in their car, consume it at their on the go. So that's one part of it. Obviously, delivery is going to be big. Packaged goods are going to be big. So on both those axes, we are trying to overamp on those. So we've got a very limited range of our packaged chais, tea leaves, tea bags, instant premixes chai. So we're trying to extend that range. We serve about 12 products today. Possibly that 12 products will go up to 30 products in the next 2-3 months to come. So these will be listed across the many channels that exist for these kind of products. On the delivery front as well, we're trying to see what kind of products is the customer looking for today. So that's not something that we're going to be doing, but I think something like meal kits is a very interesting kind of a story, because a customer who is now more used to consuming at home will be looking for these kind of options. You're used to cooking, but you don't want to do the hard work of cooking from scratch. So meal kits is definitely going to be big. Maybe pre-packaged hygienic kind of snacks is going to be big. You just have a packaged cold sandwich, but it's not being touched by hand right now. You get it home and you microwave it and you have it. So these kind of things are what is going to come back. Short answer to your question: consumption is going to come back for sure. It is the modes of consumption which are going to change, and to be able to target those new modes of consumption, I think it requires a lot of agility on everybody's part to just try out some 10 things and then maybe maybe 3 or 4 of them will just click for you, and they might end up getting you back to the same kind of revenue levels you were at before.
Raghav, thank you so much for your time. Like always, fantastic talking to you.
Thank you. Great conversation.
Yeah, and wish you all the health and all the best to you, your family, your colleagues, friends, everyone. Take
Same
care.
to you, Aryan. Thanks a lot.